welcome to Marathon Recon. This is Martise Moore, your Run Faster coach. Today we're running mile 12 and I have the pleasure of running with Michelle today. So we're going to get started running down Sunset Boulevard. So Michelle is actually running the LA Marathon again this year. This mile is pretty flat starting out, and then it actually goes downhill. In front of us we can start to see the beautiful Hollywood Hills, so it's pretty nice, especially with the kind of the sunrise coming right now. But Michelle, tell us about your experience of this part of the race. Like, what are you feeling? What are you thinking about?
This part of the race, I do like that it is a relatively flat part. Coming off of Sunset was also pretty flat coming out of Echo Park. So this is a nice little start to downhill. I'm feeling pretty good at this point. Once we kind of get to Santa Monica, you kind of start feeling the heat. It's about this time of day that you get this far in the race.
Okay.
So that sun's coming up behind you, so you do have a little bit of cool left to kind of get your composure together and get that heat on when you hit Santa Monica Boulevard closer to the 405.
Right.
But no, this is a good little spot.
Yeah. So we're still in the Hollywood area, but we're off of Hollywood Boulevard, so no more stars to look at if you can actually see the ground from all the feet running in the race. But tell us why you're actually running the race. Like, why do you run the LA Marathon? Why are you running it again? How many times have you run it?
This will be my second LA Marathon.
Okay.
I love to run at LA as my second home.
Okay.
I grew up in Kansas, so this is a very different environment, but I've adapted very well, and I feel like just getting to know a city no better than actually running it.
Right.
And 26 miles is a very intimate run with the city.
I'd say so.
So I'll run it every year I can. This year will be a little different. I think I'm going to run it more at a casual pace to kind of really soak up the sights. Last year was my first LA Marathon, also my first marathon ever. So I was pretty stressed, a lot of sweat in my eyes. So I think this year I'm really going to kind of soak it up and really cherish the moments.
Tell us something that you learned about running it the first time. What's some advice you would give to somebody who's running it for the first time?
Don't give up. I mean, there's so many chances for you to give up, to stop running, to take a break.
Right.
But I don't know, there's something about completing a race, not taking a single walking step that just amplifies your accomplishments and creates this encouragement that you can do it again. If you can do it once, you can do it twice.
Right. Well, that's great. And then I know you said you're planning to run it more casual this year, but do you have a goal in mind, or just to enjoy it?
I just want to enjoy it. Last year I ran a little over 4 hours. Hopefully we'll keep that same time.
Okay.
Maybe a little better would be fantastic, but I don't know. I'm kind of taking the stress off of it this year, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Oh, nice. So when you decided to run it for the first time, what made you decide to do it? Because a lot of people don't understand why anybody would run a marathon. So just talk about like what led you to that decision.
It was the impossibility of thinking that I could actually do something like that. That was so appealing. It kind of became an addiction. I realized a few years ago how out of shape I was when I joined a basketball league.
Okay.
And I started running to get my stamina up. And eventually, 2 seasons in, I let go of basketball and just continued running because I enjoyed it so much.
Oh, nice.
So,
what's one of the biggest benefits you've got out of your running growth journey?
I feel so much more accomplished. I'm very proud of the body of work I've created working in LA. This is kind of the first thing that I've done for me. It's like a personal accomplishment that has nothing to do with work. It only has benefits and for me. So
nice. Do you train with a group, or How do you train for them?
I did LA Roadrunners last year, which was an amazing experience. That group is fantastic, very encouraging. But I typically love running alone. It's my time to think. It's kind of my me time and get my day started off right.
Yeah, actually, she already did her run before she ran with us, so.
I didn't want to find parking. That was the thing.
Yeah, so that's another great reason to take up running. You don't have to park anywhere. Parking is premium around here, so.
It's true.
So that's cool. So, what's something that in the race you find like some of the challenging parts in terms of figuring out when you should eat, when you should drink? Because especially when it was your first time and you probably had never even run a whole 26.2 miles, right? In your training you ran up to what?
20.
Okay. So how did you push through that last 6 miles knowing you've never run that far before?
Oh, that was like the allure, knowing I never ran that before. Every step was like one step further that had gone. But that was definitely like my pulse of just like, and another step. Like every step was a new milestone. But in terms of eating and drinking, I kind of just did every 4 miles just a quick eat and drink. And it seems to work. I just kind of guessed on that one, but.
Okay, so you didn't have any cramping?
No, I didn't. I was very fortunate.
Oh, good. That's nice.
Yeah.
Because did you practice that when you were training, like especially on your 20-mile runs?
Yeah, for sure. I typically don't do anything in a race that I haven't trained to do.
No, that's perfect.
So that's really beneficial. It's proven very effective.
So did you bring all your own stuff, or did you use what was provided on the course?
I bring my own stuff.
Okay.
What
would you recommend to people who are not sure what they're going to do?
Try it out. Some stuff works, some stuff doesn't. Some might be too sugary for people. I think there are a lot of.
But in terms of like having their own stuff versus depending on what's on the course.
You've never tried what's on the course. It might give you cramps. It might make you throw up. I'd never partake. Even oranges on the side of the road. I've just never eaten an orange while I run, so I just don't partake.
Yeah, that's good advice. Because you don't know, your body is going up and down so much that it's really having an effect on your digestive system.
Yeah.
And if you do something new, your system's way more sensitive when you run than it is, you just walking around everyday life. So that's why it's critical to continue to use the same exact things you've been using when you train. Like even the type of Gatorade you drink or something like that.
Yeah.
Like the least little thing can set your stomach off or worse.
That's not to keep it guessing.
Right. Like let's talk a little bit about the worst. Do you ever have to go to the bathroom? Like, how do you figure that situation out? Like,
I am so fortunate. I never have. And I don't want to jinx myself. But I have thrown up on one run, and I don't know why it just happened, but I've been very fortunate otherwise.
Yeah, because I think that's definitely one of the tricks is what do you eat before you start the race?
Peanut butter sandwich.
Okay. And see, that works for you.
Yep, every time.
And then I'm sure you made sure you went to the bathroom before you left the house.
10 times.
10 times. Because at all costs, you don't want to have to go during the race.
No, I'm not wasting time on waiting on a porta potty for sure.
So someone's asking, how do you maintain your potassium levels? Potassium is really important because it helps you keep from cramping. So did you eat any kind of bananas or?
I do eat bananas after the race.
There's
a Gatorade Endurance that has a lot of potassium in it. That's what I drink.
Right. Okay.
So it's pretty. I do all my eating the day before, so I feel pretty good that run day. But yeah, never had any problems with it.
Oh, good. Did you know what signs to look for if you were to have problems? Because last year was so hot.
Yeah.
You know, they started the race early because they don't want people to, you know, get too overheated and have extra problems. How did you prepare for that?
I'm certain I drank close to a gallon of water and probably close to a gallon of Gatorade the day before.
Okay.
Very hydrated.
Okay.
But yeah, I just make sure more so on a daily basis as well, eating the right foods, getting the right nutrients in my body.
Yeah, on the day of the marathon, did they have Gatorade for people?
Yes, yeah. Gatorade Endurance, which is like filled with those calcium, potassium,
Oh, okay, good.
all those electrolytes.
Do you happen to know what flavor someone's asking?
Ooh, lemon lime. Lemon lime's my favorite.
Yeah, you know, that's probably the best on your stomach, too. That's probably why they...
Yeah. I drank it as a
provide
kid,
that
so
one.
it's kind of already in my blood.
Good. So, we're getting close to the end. We're almost in kind of west of Hollywood area. We're starting to get close to the
This part
homes
of the
and
race is
mountains.
slightly difficult because my house is right down there. So just a quick turn and I'd be...
That's a good point. So, when people are running this race, most people who run this race are from LA, and some parts of the course are near their homes. So, there's definitely that temptation that, you know, I could just duck out right here and be home.
Drive to the end, grab my car, and drive to the end.
Right.
No, I would never.
Oh, yeah. So, how do you push through some of the negative thoughts that you have in terms of keeping going?
Well,
Just give us one example.
yeah. There was by the VA hospital actually, that uphill. A lot of people were walking. It was very tempting to walk, but my mom was always in my mind telling me I can go, I can be better.
Nice.
She was paralyzed when I was 8.
Oh.
So she would run if she could, she'd bike if she could, and I do all those things for her. She's a bigger inspiration to me than I think she knows, but she keeps me going.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's definitely a good inspiration. So while we're here, so we had the beautiful sunrise in the background the whole time. Perhaps you'll definitely have that during the race. We're running west, so that's where the sun sets. So the sunrise will actually be behind you during the race, so you probably won't see it much. But you'll be so glad to see the ocean when you get there.
Yes.
Well, I want to thank my guest, Michelle, so much for sharing her LA Marathon experiences. And we wish you the best in the race, having fun. I'll be on mile 22 waving and cheering for you. So, yeah, Michelle's actually is a GreenRunner, so she's a very, very special guest today. And if any of you have any racing or running questions for me, please tweet me at GreenRunnerLA, or you can email me at greenrunnerla.com. And until then, we'll see you tomorrow for mile 13, which is halfway through the race, so that should be a good one. We'll see you tomorrow at 7 a.m. Until then, keep running.